All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how everyone's complaining about Cleopatra being shown as a black woman on a Netflix show that they're going to be bringing out on May, I think it's May the 10th, right? And they're complaining, saying that she's being shown as a black woman. And just to get this point out of there real quick, she was a white woman, all right? We ain't Hebrew Israelites. We ain't about lying about history, man, like you people are, right? She was a so-called white woman, but really, let's get down to even more depth of what her nationality was. She was really an Edomite, man, because so-called white people are Edomites, right? So all you people that are complaining and crying about history being changed and all of that, right? All you Caucasians doing that, you got a lot of nerve, to be honest with you. And maybe seeing some of these shows where they're changing out some of your people and stealing some of your history can make you understand what you people have did to us when you had us in slavery, in the Atlantic slave trade, and stole our nationality, right? Replaced our nationality that we was by calling us black, right? And gave our nationality away to another group of your people. So now they're calling themselves the children of Israel, right? While we got left with being called colors. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So when you people got power of the earth, you change the faces of the people that are really the ones that is destined to rule the earth, man. Right? Here's a perfect example. You people try and depict everyone in the Bible as being Caucasians, but what did Solomon say about himself? What did King Solomon say about himself? Right? And I ain't read this scripture for ages, man. Right? I ain't read this one for ages, but what did King Solomon say about himself? This is the Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon. So this is Solomon's song. So when if it says I anywhere in this song, he's referring to himself. Verse 5, I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar. Now, if you look up the tents of Kedar, the tents of Kedar was something that the Ishmaelites had, and it was pitch black tents, all right? As the curtains of Solomon, look not upon me because I am black, because the sun have looked upon me. Now, if I go out in the sun, and I've been to hot countries before, man, right? I've been to hot countries before, and my skin went about 5 shades darker than my skin is now, man. So you people can't tell me that my people's skin don't go to where it damn near is black if we go out in the sun. You can't tell us that, man. But you people, where's King Solomon being depicted as a so-called black man in this world? Everyone thinks that all history pretty much just belongs to Caucasians. And then one person gets changed out for one of us, right? And then you people start losing your mind, man, when it's a real person that existed. But you've done that in several times yourself. You've done that with the scriptures, man. Yahweh Shai existed. The Messiah of the Bible exists, right? He existed and he exists, man. He walked on the earth. But what image does he get given on this earth by everyone? What do people accept that he looked like? They think that he was a white man when he wasn't. Here's the proof. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the seven, in fact, verse 7 first. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Now, who's this talking about? This is talking about the Messiah, the right hand of Yahweh, the right hand of God, all right? This isn't talking about God being the same as his son. That's stupid, right? That's another thing we don't believe. Verse 13, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. Now, if I was to grow my hair out, it's going to be like wool. Whatever portions of where the hair is, it's going to be like wool. Just like how my beard's like wool. And that's the same thing for every single so-called black person, man. Their hair is woolly in texture, right? But that's not the type of hairstyle or the type of hair texture that this world has gave to the image that they've created of the Messiah, that people globally accept, man. To the point where people think it's laughable that the Messiah could have been anything other than a Caucasian. It's ridiculous. Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes was a flame of fire. and his feet like unto fine brass, as if burned in a furnace. Now, what color is brass, man? It's brown. It's like the color of copper. And if you burn, that's the color of my skin. He's like a copper coin. If I take a copper coin and I place it on my hand, it's damn near the same color. If I take this pendant around here and I put it next to my hand, this is darker than my hand, right? But it's still dark though. And if you burn something, it's gonna be even darker than that, man. This pendant right here is the same color of what most so-called black people can meet, man. So what are you people talking about? This world has stole everyone's history, right? Especially the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. It stole or changed or hid certain parts of the history, and then you're wondering why these people are trying to cleave onto anything that they've heard to try and make that be their history. Well, you shouldn't have stole their history, then, innit? You shouldn't have stole. You shouldn't have beat them to death, killed them, lynched them, book broke them, slaughtered them, used a whole bunch of torture methods on them, and then told them to get over it, and then said your history doesn't matter. You were just swinging on trees in Africa, and then they start seeing that there's people that look like them throughout history, and they're realizing actually you're lying. Actually, you're a liar. We wasn't doing none of those things you said. You're a liar. And actually, we have got people and we have got times and things that we did in history, right? But you didn't want to tell them. So of course they're gonna start picking and choosing and thinking and not understanding which one's the history. But the Hebrew Israelites, we know what our history is, man, because there's Bible prophecies in the scriptures and there's curses that was gonna be upon the Israelites. So we know that the Negroes, so-called African Americans, Jamaicans, right, the Latinos, the Mexicans, the Native American Indians, we know that we are the Israelites, man, because we can look at those curses in the Bible and we can see that those things are on us. But of course, there's going to be other people from among our nation that are lost still, that they're thinking that other cultures is their thing. But I'll say this again, Cleopatra was not black. She was a so-called white woman. But really, when we go into even more depth to what her biblical nationality was, she was an Edomite. Because those people that started calling themselves Greeks during that time, the Ptolemies and all of those people, they're mentioned in the book of Maccabees. And when you go deeper into the history of who these people were, you find that they go back to a particular person that was also called a Macedonian, who was Agag, the Agagite, and he was an Edomite, man. He went back to the tribe of Amalek. So them Greeks that everyone boasts about in history were really Edomites, man, and they weren't no nice people. They were demons. They Hellenized the Israelites, and they stole their Israelites and beat the Israelites' nationality out of them. And there was a whole bunch of pork. There was killing infant children, right? There was forcing Israelites to eat pork. So all these people that are boasting and glorying in these people were wicked. They weren't nice people. They weren't righteous. They were evil demons. They weren't nice people, man. They were evil, man. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters, meaning that his skin was dark brown, man. Extremely dark brown. The darkest brown that you can find, to the point where you would almost call it black. Now, is that how the world depicts the Messiah? Is it? Or did they try and show him as a Caucasian guy looking like Russell Brand with blonde hair? Is that what they show him looking like? Yes, it is. And does the whole world try and assume that the Israelites of the Bible look like those people over there in the land of Israel now? Yes, they do. But what people don't understand is that people migrate. People migrate. And in the Bible, there's a story and there's a history of the Israelites being taken out of the land and being replaced by other people that ended up living in the land and following after the ways of the Israelites, and also their own ways though. So to just assume that the people, and those people have never returned since that day, that particular tribe, they never returned again after that, those particular tribes. So what are you people talking about, man? You people think that all this history belongs to you, but we know otherwise, man. We know what it is, man. We know that you people in this world, all you wicked heathens, that you're against us, man. And your goal is to make us think that we ain't shit. But guess what? You people ain't shit. That's what it really is. And that's why you can't just come out and tell the truth on who we really are. Bring out those history books that you've got hidden and show what it really is. And see if people still respect you on this earth. Or they're going to think that you're a scumbag. And that's why you crybabies are crying about some Cleopatra being shown as a so-called white woman. If you love your history so much, yeah, and you respect your history so much, all you so-called white people, stop calling yourself white and call yourself the Edomites, because that's who you really are. So if you're really down for your history so much, call yourself the Edomites, admit that you're Edomites then. But you ain't gonna do that, are you? You ain't gonna do that. You don't love your history that much, huh? You like the fake history that you've made for yourself. Oh, I'm a Greek. Oh, we were the Greeks. We were the no. You were the Edomites, and the Greeks and the Romans, they were Edomites. But you ain't gonna claim all that. Psalms chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, who calls themselves Israelites anymore in this world apart from the Hebrew Israelites? Before the Hebrew Israelites was calling themselves Israelites, nobody was calling themselves Israelites on this earth. They wasn't doing that. They were saying Jay Wish. They wasn't saying that, and you can't even say the word the real way because these crybabies start getting emotional, man. Yeah, I thought that the Israelites are supposed to be an oppressed people until the Messiah comes back. They ain't supposed to have power to just cancel everybody. So that's the proof right there that you ain't the people. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So all you people are against us, man. You're against us. You don't want us to have hope in being anything, man. Because you're scared that if these people start looking into Cleopatra and thinking that they're Cleopatra, then they might start looking deep and they might realize actually these people weren't Cleopatra, right? In fact, really, them Greeks were Edomites. And then they might start looking into who the Greeks was fighting against in the Greek history and realize, oh, these Greeks was fighting against Israelites. And then they might start realizing who the Israelites were and that the Israelites were in fact them. And that's why you people don't want us to really study any kind of history, man. You don't want us to have nothing. You want we know what it is. The whole world. This is a quick message, man. This thing I'm about to say right now is for all you so-called black people out there, all you so-called African Americans, Jamaicans, West Indians, all you Latinos, you so-called Hispanics, all you Native American Indians that are calling yourself by all these different terms that you're living on reservations in America. The world don't want you to have nothing, man. They want you to be a piece of shit under their shoe. That if they need someone to sing or they need someone to dance, you're up. But if it's time to rule something and have a say on what's going to be going on the earth, they want you to shut the fuck up. Right? And I have to say it like that because hopefully it stirs some anger in you people, man, that this world really doesn't want you to have shit, doesn't want you to be shit, wants you to just walk down on the floor, bow down to them, and do whatever the fuck they say. That's what they want, man. That's what they want because they don't want to tell you what your real history is, right? But then they're mad when you pick another history to be a part of them. But they don't want to tell you what your actual history is, and that goes back to the Book of Revelation, which you know what? Forget Psalms 83 for a second. Let me read this. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lay in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, and there the people and kindred and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So they don't want us to be buried into a nationality and be like, okay, we're going to give you some rest. Here, this is who you really are, all right? This is who you really are. No, they don't want us to be a nation because they don't want us to rule the earth, but that's what our destiny is anyway. It don't matter what they want. We're going to rule the earth anyway, man. It don't matter if you're watching this video and you've already switched off and you be like, fuck what that black geezer is talking about. It don't matter. Even if I'm not one of the people that's supposed to be of the elected nation of Israel, they're still out there anyway. They're still out there anyway, man. And you can't stop nothing. You can't stop them from getting what they're supposed to get. Death can't stop them. False witnesses can't stop them because Yahweh's justifying them. And if Yahweh says they're okay, despite their multitude of sins, then they're going to receive mercy. It don't matter what no earthly vessels can say unto them. And it don't matter about all the death that's being planned for those people right now to try and stop them from getting their kingdom either. That's not going to stop them either. That's not going to stop them, man. Shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So they didn't want us to be put in graves and be given a nationality and be like, here we go. This is what you're supposed to be. This is what you really are. They didn't want to say that. But then they also got a problem when we start saying, okay, I think we're this. They're like, nah, you ain't that. Well, you know who we really are. And now we know who we really are, the Hebrew Israelites. We know too. Because those curses are on us. Those curses are on us, man. From Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And they're not on nobody else more than they're on us. They're not on nobody else. You might be able to find that there's so discord among other people and all that, but it's on us the worst. Therefore, we're the Israelites, man. Slavery on ships, that's us. And Native Americans can see the same thing within their people, and so can Mexicans and the Hispanics and Latinos see the same thing within their people, man. Because they're the Israelites too. Psalm chapter 83 and verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, that's you so-called white people, man. And the Ishmaelites, and of Moab, and the Hagarenes. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Verse, jump down to verse 12. Who said, let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession? And that's what these people have tried to do, man. Because we're the most profitable thing for these people, man. Just look at the sports industry. Just that alone. How much money gets made annually from these athletes, man. You had recently the Javante Davis fight, right? I think they were selling them PPVs, pay-per-view tickets or whatever, online, or for that streaming or whatever. I think they were selling them for $80. And there was 1.2 million buyers of that. Look at all the money that Floyd Mayweather supposedly made from boxing. How much money do you think other people made that own them radio stations, that own them TV stations? Look at all the money that Mike Tyson made. Look at all the money that Evander Holyfield made. Look at all the money that Lennox Lewis made. Look at all the talented so-called black people, Latinos and Native Americans that was in all of these sports, which Native Americans don't really do sports that much. They're a bit of a different tribe, but look at all the Mexicans and the Negroes, man, that was taking part in all these sports. And just imagine how much money's been made off them. And then they end up destroyed after their careers over. They can't talk properly, or they just end up getting cast away. Or they ended up in that dodgy contract where they lost all their money. But who made all the money from that and didn't have to bob and weave, didn't have to jab or parry or duck under any shots, man? They were just sitting back, getting their pockets fat and their stomach, man. So you people can't tell us nothing, man. You Benjamin, yeah, you can't tell me nothing. Shit, man. Yeah, but on a serious note, man, you people, real talk, you people can't tell us nothing about this, man, because you're jokers. You people are jokers. You don't want us to have any kind of history, right? You laugh when we speak about the Bible. Then you laugh if we speak about something else. So what do you want? What do you really want for us? Why don't you just say what you really want? You want us to die. Why don't you just say that, man? There'd be more honor in you just saying, you know what? We want you people to die. But you know, if you say that and you try and come at us like that, then the same thing that's always happened in history is going to happen again. We're going to rise up on you. Which is going to happen anyway, though. It's going to happen anyway when you people decide to just throw away the facade. Oh, everything's equal, mate. Fair play, fair play. When you throw that away and you come and try and hurt the Israelites, the same thing that's always happened is going to happen, man. You're going to lose. Because the harsh afflictions on the Israelites always causes them to turn back to their Creator, who made a covenant with their fathers, Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. So they shall fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. And that's going to cause, that's what happened in the past, man. With them Greeks that everyone's crying about right now, saying, oh, Cleopatra. She was a Greek, man, just living in Egypt, right? She was a so-called white woman, but them Greeks were demons, man. But in the past, when them Greeks came up against the Israelites, Yahweh lifted up a standard against them, the Maccabees. And in this time, a standard is going to be lifted up against you, but it's even going to be greater than that. It's going to be Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. He's going to be that standard lifted up, man. And he's going to come out of the heavens, and you people can laugh at that all you want. It sounds laughable if you ain't got faith. But if you have got faith, it ain't no joke, man. Because we ain't even pictured him in our mind, and the things that we ain't even seen, well, let me say it like this, we haven't even seen what he really looks like, But what we picture in our mind of what he looks like is terrifying, man. Especially even if you're us, it's terrifying. So how much more if you're a filthy heathen? How much more terrifying is it then, man? Let me get this scripture, because this is what the world really wants for you Israelites, man. Isaiah chapter 51 and verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and has laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. So that's how the world's treated us. He said, you know what, I want to get over to that pond over there, that pond of success over there. So I'm going to need you to make a bridge with your people so that I can get across over there. That's what they've said. And that's what they've done. They stole our history, told us we were black, told us we were coloured, told us we were Negroes and all this, told us we were all these different things, said that we were just Africans swinging on trees. But then when you start looking at history and looking at things, you start seeing that there's artwork from the 1500s showing the people of the Bible with pitch black faces. And when you start reading the Bible, you start realizing that them statues match what the Bible's saying. So these people are liars. And you got to be a real loser, right, to try and steal somebody else's nationality and then beat somebody into a certain type of characteristic and then look at their characteristic that you've put in them and laugh at it and go, see, I told you that they were criminals. Well, you set up a society and a civilization for them to where criminal activity is the main way that they can get success. You chose that. You put them in that position. You put drugs in the neighborhood. You put guns in the neighborhood. And I ain't making no excuses for them people, because them Israelites are being wicked too. But you set up situations where that was the best, that seemed like the easiest way for them to make it. Because whenever they tried to do anything else, right, you didn't help them trying to do anything where they was not being wicked, but you helped in them being wicked. When they wanted to start a business, you didn't have no funding for that. But if they wanted to cut their genitals off and smash them and mold them into some other genitals, well, then you was like, yep, we'll put you on a program here. We've got loads of funding for that. Or if they wanted to start a company, be like, well, I'm sorry, we can't give you a loan for that. But if they wanted to start a rap career talking about killing their own people, then you're going to give them a rap man starter pack. You're going to give them a gold chain from your jewelry that you got set up. You're going to shoot their music video, right? You're going to give him pink hair. You're going to set up a ritualistic music video for him to shoot, right? You're going to have all the funding then, huh? But you ain't got the funding to start anything with righteousness for these people. But then you've got funding for other nationalities though, ain't you? You've always got funding for an Ishmaelite to start up a company. You'll give them a loan real quick. So it's not that you ain't got the money for the loans. You just ain't got the money for them when it come time for the loan, right? But then you people want to complain that we ain't got nothing. And all of this has been done ultimately because our Father who is in heaven, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, doesn't want us to be comfortable around you idiots anyway, man. So he's the one that's really did this to us. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, man. It's a good thing that we ain't got riches in this world. But watch, man, when it goes down and you people see us in our glory, don't ever start coming and asking for no pity. Because it ain't gonna, let me get that. When we are in our glory, you people better not even think about asking for no mercy, man. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it, man. Because the things that you people are getting ready to do to us right now as I'm speaking are horrible. The things that you people are setting up to try and do against us and the plans that you have in your mind that you perceive you're going to be able to do to the children of Israel are disgusting and despicable, man. But when that plan fails and you end up seeing what we look like, don't even start asking for no mercy. But prophecy says you're going to be asking for mercy anyway. So I'm going to read this. Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. That's talking about you Caucasians, right? You Edomites that are ruling in this world right now. And every single day of yours is beautiful. Every single day of yours, you're living deliciously. You can go wherever you want. You can go to as many countries as your jet fuel will fly you to in a day. As many as you want. To the point where time isn't even the same for you as it is for other people, because you view walking to somewhere the same as you do traveling to there by jet, man. And the country's not far away for you no more. You don't have to wait in the queue. You just travel there, man. And some people can say, oh yeah, but some athletes have that and all that. Floyd Mayweather was talking about his jets before, right? And then he said, I was talking to Warren Buffett about my jets. And then Warren Buffett said out of nowhere that he's got 540 jets. Now, Floyd Mayweather said he's got like one or two. So it's not the same. And Floyd may have had to fight to get his jets. He had to get punched in the face, headbutted in the nose, low blowed, get his fingers bit, fight in the Olympics, lose, fight for 25 years of his life. Well, really, for longer than that, man. He's been hitting punching bags since he was like 2 years old. He's 46 now. So it's not the same, is it? As just playing the stock market when really they're doing insider trading anyway, and they already know what a stock's going to go to before it goes there. They already know what it's going to drop to before it drops. So that's not the same, is it? As doing some dodgy insider trading, which is what a lot of you wicked devils do it to get your riches, man. Scamming up the stock market and scamming up the crypto market, man. Betting on options and all that, you demons. Think we don't know. Luke chapter 16 and verse 20. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which laid at his gate full of sores. That's talking about us, man. The Negro, Latino, Native American. We're catching hell in your societies. Anywhere where we're in close proximity to you, that's where we're the worst off. And that's why the worst African Americans that you're going to see is in America, man. That's their worst state, man. Anywhere where they're close to you, they're distraught over there because you demons are always setting up plans and schemes to shut them down, man. Verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sword. And that's talking about all you other nations, man. Because you've seen that we're in a low estate, and then you've came and stole that little bit of wealth that we might have been able to have for ourselves. You've stole that. So the rich man stole our main portion, but even the portion that was left over, you heathens came and stole that. You're the dogs. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and was carried by angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man died also and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. Now, this ain't talking about he's in hell burning to death, because Abraham wouldn't be in hell, would he? He's talking about he's going to be in his personal hell. And in his personal hell, when he's going to be getting a back whipped, seeing them whips flying in the sky by dark-skinned people, yeah, they're going to be catching hell in there. And in that hell, they're going to see Abraham in there, because Abraham's going to be in the kingdom of heaven, man. And they're going to see Abraham afar off, because their Edomites are related to Abraham too, right? So they're going to see their forefather Abraham, but he's also our forefather Abraham. And we're part of the same blessings as what he received. You ain't. And it makes me very happy to think on this, man. To know that there's an end to you people that thought that you had it all together, man. It adds a nice glow to my heart, man. To think on these things, to know that you people ain't going to get away with all the stuff that you did to us. It's very beautiful to know that Yahweh is just, man. And for all you Christians that have got a problem with this, well, according to your doctrines, you think you'll be burning in hell forever. So this is more lenient, to be honest with you. So listen up. Verse 23. And he lift up his eye, and in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and see if Abram afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And you know that hurt his soul. To see that we're going to be in a better position than them, that's going to hurt you Edomite soul, man. You ain't going to have to worry about Cleopatra then. Cleopatra's going to be there with you. You Edomites, man. She's going to be there with you, man. In captivity. Your four sister, your four mother, if you want to call it that, man. She's going to be in captivity with you, man. She's an Edomite too. You can talk about how they've disrespected her with a Netflix series, all you want then. Verse 24, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water. You know the nerve of that. The nerve. They've been causing us to catch hell while they had power. But they're going to be trying to tell Abraham, oh, Abraham, I know you are forefather. Can you try and tell Jacob to ease up on this ass whooping that he's giving us? That's what you're going to do. You wicked ass Edomites, man. You're going to have the nerve to be like, tell Lazarus, because he won't listen to me. So tell Lazarus to ease up these ass whoopings that they keep giving us. But what's Abraham going to say to you in that time? Dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in the flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. Exactly. So when you had power, was we living it up? And you ain't gonna make us point to those few rappers or musicians, because Yahweh knows the truth on the things that you made those people have to go through to even get that portion. He knows all the wickedness that you made them do behind the scenes, man. He knows. For I am tormented in this flame. But Abram said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted, and thou tormented. Right? Now I got a scripture on that in the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter. Let me read that again, and then I'll read this. Luke chapter 16 and verse 25. But Abram said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. Right? Now listen to this. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 30. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? So you people ain't even had no honor now. So how much more dishonor are you going to have when you're catching hell, man, and when you've lost all that wealth? And that's why you Edomites are quick to try and be picking and choosing on who you give wealth to, man, because you know that if the Israelites had the same amount of wealth as you, that the world would not look at you the same. That's why when we've tried to make cities, you've destroyed them and came up with fake reasons as to why you did that. But really, you just did it because you saw that ours was better than yours. That's why you're always quick to try and find a scheme and a lie about us to try and throw us in jail, man, because you know that we're better than you. You know we are. You know it, man. A man knows when another man is better than him. And you Edomites know that we are better than you. Because you don't feel comfortable around us now, even though you've got all this wealth compared to us, man. You feel insecure when we show up, man. You start feeling weird when we show up. Even though you've got more wealth than us and more power in this earth than us, you still don't feel comfortable around us, man. Because we shine up a mirror to your face and show you that you're corrupt and evil and wicked. And the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, goes into that. Verse 26, and beside all this between us and you, Luke chapter 16 and verse 26, and beside all this between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. And this goes way back to the book of Genesis. When Jacob and Esau was born, they were fighting each other, man. That enmity's been there from the beginning. They was never supposed to be cool with each other, and they never have been, really. They never have been, man. Verse 27, then said he, I pray therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brethren, that they may testify unto them, that they may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. And that's speaking about how in the spiritual realm, man, you Edomites find out that you're going to be catching hell in the future. Right? So you thinking that, okay, if in the earth realm, you can send them to these people and tell them that they're going to be catching hell. You Edomites are too proud to believe that. You're getting told that you're going to catch hell now. And you don't believe it. But when you go back up to that spiritual realm, you find out, man, and you get a visions of the future and what it's going to be like when the kingdom of heaven is set up, man. And it's exactly like how I was saying. Well, it's not. I don't want to get proud. It's not exactly like how I was saying. But it's going to be a time where you people are going to be catching hell on earth. You're going to be in slavery, man. Every single one of you that passes on to the next life, to the spiritual realm, let me say it like that, right? And your spirit leaves your body and you go back up to the heavenly realm, right? When you get up there, you realize that you ain't nothing, man. You ain't equal to us. So it's like God's playing a trick on you, because on earth you get treated better than us. But in the heavenly realm, you're worse. And once the heavenly realm plays out on earth, you're going to see that you're not better than us, man. But you want to complain about Cleopatra. That's your least of your worries. That's the least of your worries, man. That should be the least thing that you're worrying about. You need to worry about how your government is making everything cashless. You need to worry about the CBDCs that are coming up. You need to be worrying about that. You need to be worrying about how you're going to be getting drafted to fight in wars. You need to be worrying about that stuff. Never mind no Cleopatra. You need to be worried about all the history that you've lied about from other people. Verse 28, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. But they're going there anyway. Verse 29, Abram saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, Nay, father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto them, if they will not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded though one rose from the dead. And they won't, because Yahweh Shai rose from the dead, right? And he was an Israelite. Correct? Yes. Did the Edomites stop punishing the Israelites after they saw that the Messiah from the Israelites rose up from the dead? Did they say, you know what, we need to leave these people alone, man? We need to leave these Israelites alone because they've got people from among them that rose from the dead? Or did they still carry on killing the Israelites? Even still now to this day. They're still doing the same things, man. This was before the Atlantic slave trade. They still did the Atlantic. This was before the destroying of the temple of the Israelites in 70 AD. And they're still doing it, man. Still. Even after the Messiahs died from Yahweh Shai, they're still doing it, man. Let me read that again. Luke chapter 16, verse 31. And he said unto him, if they will not hear Moses and the prophets, which they didn't, the Edomites have never listened and wanted to leave the Israelites alone, man. When the Israelites came out of the land of Egypt from the Exodus, Edomites was killing them. Moses said, we've got a close relationship, we have, the Israelites and the Edomites. He wasn't trying to hear that. There's been many prophets of Israel that have said about to these heathens, leave the Israelites alone because we've got a God that fights for us. They never listened and they ended up dying for that. And when Yahweh Shai died on the cross, right, and rose from the dead, some of them were still saying, okay, this is the Son of God. But they still kept killing the Israelites though, didn't they? That didn't make them say, you know what, we're going to leave him alone. We're going to leave these Israelites alone. They still kept killing Israelites and still are now to this day, man. So everything that you've did, all the accumulations of the sins of you Edomites, man, is going to be this, right? And this is going to be the cause of why all the other heathen nations are going to get in line, man, and not try and get on a hype with us after this happens. So you Edomites are going to be a good catalyst for peace on earth, man. The destruction of you is going to bring, the complete destruction of you is going to bring peace on earth, because the heathens are going to get in line, man, because they're going to be like, remember what happened to the last people that messed with the Israelites. I ain't trying to get my whole nation destroyed like what happened to them. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh have spoken it. So that's what's getting ready to happen, man. That's what's getting ready to happen. And when it happens, all you other nationalities are going to recognize that don't even mess with us, man. Don't even try and test. Don't waste your time. It's worth it. It's not worth it. You're not going to be able to do nothing anyway, because we're going to be given our new covenant in that time. But before you Edomites get destroyed off the earth as well, you're going to have to get payback for all the crimes that you've did, man. And it's not going to be nice and it's not going to be pretty. And that's the reason why right now, all the things that you so-called white people, you Edomites, are planning to do in your mind, all the evil, that's why you're planning to do it, man. Because you're thinking that you're going to be able to stop yourself from going through this. But all the things that you're doing is just part of prophecy anyway. Read Isaiah the 47th chapter and you'll find out that all of it was just planned. All of the power that it was given was planned. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.